Big Ben is the famous clock tower next to the Palace of Westminster in London. It is the second largest four-faced clock in the world. Big Ben is actually the name of the bell of the clock tower, but over time it has been used by the public to refer to the entire structure. On June 26, 2012, the name of the tower was changed to Elizabeth Tower, by the decision taken by the Parliament in honor of the 60th anniversary of the Queen's accession to the throne. The tower was designed in neo-Gothic style by Augustus Pugin. When it was completed in 1859, its clock was the largest in the world. All four nations of England are represented on the tower in shields that include a rose for England, thistles for Scotland, shamrocks for Northern Ireland and leeks for Wales. The tower is a British cultural icon recognized all over the world. It is one of the most important symbols of the United Kingdom and parliamentary democracy, and is often used in the filming of films shot in London. The clock tower has been part of a Grade I listed building since 1970 and a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 1987. Inside the tower is an oak-paneled prison chamber, accessible only from the House of Commons and not from the tower entrance. It was last used in 1880, when Charles Bradlaugh, newly elected to the Parliament for Northampton, was arrested by the armed forces after protesting that he had taken a religious oath of allegiance to Queen Victoria. The sergeant-at-arms could still formally make arrests, as he had the power to do since 1415. However, the chamber is currently used by the Petitions Committee, which oversees petitions submitted to Parliament. The Palace of Westminster or the Houses of Parliament is the building in the United Kingdom that houses the British Parliament, consisting of the House of Commons and the House of Lords. The palace is located on the north bank of the River Thames in the Westminster district, near other public buildings in Whitehall. Control of the Palace of Westminster and its surroundings was provided by the Queen's representatives for centuries. But later, with an agreement between the Crown and the government, management was given to the houses in 1965. However, some private royal chambers are still guarded by these special guards. Westminster Abbey and St. Petersburg were designated by UNESCO in 1987. It has been declared a World Heritage Site along with St. Margaret's Church. The London Eye or Millennium Wheel is a cantilevered observation wheel on the south bank of the River Thames in London. It is the tallest cantilevered observation wheel in Europe and the most popular paid tourist attraction in the United Kingdom, with over 3 million visitors each year. It has featured many times in popular culture. The Eye offered London's highest public viewing point until it was replaced by the 245-metre-high observation deck on the 72nd floor of the Shard in early 2013. The London Eye was designed by the husband and wife team of Julia Barfield and David Marks of Marks Barfield Architects. Tower Bridge is a two-story drawbridge located over the River Thames in London, United Kingdom. For years, the British capital has combined traffic on both sides of the city on the river. It is called Tower Bridge because it is close to the Tower of London. The bridge, which was opened in 1894, is one of the most famous bascule bridges. The bridge consists of two towers connected by two horizontal walkways from the high level and a driveway from below. For years, there has been a need for an additional bridge over the river in the British capital to connect traffic on both sides of the city. But the planned bridge would block access to the port between London Bridge and the Tower of London. Finally, two architects, Horace Jones and John Wolfe Barry, came up with the perfect solution: a retractable bridge that allowed even the largest vessels to pass. As a result of the bridge project competition opened in 1876, Horace Jones' bridge project was accepted in 1884. Buckingham Palace is the seat of government and the London residence of the monarchs of the United Kingdom. Located in the city of Westminster, the palace is frequently used for state affairs and hosting foreign dignitaries. On the grounds of the palace, which was private property for about 150 years, was the mansion of the Duke of Westminster, called Buckingham House, in 1703. In 1763, the building acquired by George for Queen Charlotte later became known as the Queen's House. 19. Throughout the century, additions were made to the building, which was expanded by architects such as John Nash and Edward Blore. The palace became the London residence of Queen Victoria following her accession to the throne in 1837. In the last additions to the palace at the end of the 19th century and the beginning of the 20th century, a balcony was built on the eastern facade, where the royal family greeted the public. 2. The Queen's Gallery, where the royal collection is exhibited, was built in place of the chapel, which was destroyed during the German bombing in World War II, and was opened to the public in 1962. Hyde Park is the largest of London's royal parks. Adjacent Kensington Gardens covers 150 hectares. In the gardens section, a statue is placed in the name of King Alex, and in the park section, it contains a lake known as Water. In the northeastern corner of the park, close to Marble Arch, is Speaker's Corner, which has long been known as a free speech place for street orators. It is one of the largest known parks in the world. The British Museum is a museum of human history, art and culture located in London, England. Its permanent collection of 8 million works is one of the largest and most comprehensive collections in the world. The museum records the story of human culture from its beginnings to the present day. The British Museum is the first public national museum covering all fields of knowledge. The British Museum collections are grouped in 4 main sections: Ancient Work section, Coins and Medals section, Prints and Drawings section, the Ethnography department called Museum of Mankind, which is in a separate building today. The Ancient Work section covers separate collections of Egyptian, Western Asian, Ancient Greek and Ancient Roman, Prehistoric England, Middle Ages and Eastern works. Famous works in the museum include the Rashidun stone of Egyptian hieroglyphs, Assyrian reliefs from Ashurbanipal's palace in Nineveh, friezes from the mausoleum in Bodrum, Sutton Hoo Ship Cemetery, African statuettes made of bronze and ivory, and the Breadalbane brooch. The Tower of London is a historic castle located on the north bank of the River Thames in central London. The Tower of London is often recognized by the quadrangular structure of the White Tower, built by William I in 1078. But the tower is a complex with many other buildings, protective walls and a moat. The main purpose of the construction of the tower was to use it as a castle, royal palace and a detention house where palace criminals would be kept. In addition, the tower also served as an execution and torture center, arsenal, state treasury, zoo, mint and observatory. Criminals were brought to the tower by a boat from the River Thames and taken to the dungeon through the gate called Traitor's Gate. Queen Anne Boleyn and Catherine Howard were the queens executed in the Tower of London during the reign of Henry VIII. It was declared a World Heritage Site by UNESCO in 1988. Camden Markets are a series of adjacent large retail markets, often collectively referred to as Camden Market or Camden Lock, located on the historic former Pickford Stables in Camden Town, London. It is located north of the Hampstead Road Lock of the Regent's Canal, popularly known as Camden Lock. Famous for their cosmopolitan image, the goods sold at the stalls include handicrafts, clothing, books, trinkets and fast food. It is the 4th most popular visitor attraction in London, attracting around 250,000 people each week. St. Paul's Cathedral, officially the Cathedral Church of St. Paul the Apostle, is an Anglican cathedral in London, England, and is the seat of the Bishop of London. The cathedral serves as the mother church of the Diocese of London. It is located on Ludgate Hill, at the highest point in the City of London. It is a building with first-degree historical monument status. The cathedral is one of London's most famous and recognizable sights. The towered domes of Wren City churches have dominated the skyline for more than 300 years. At 365 feet, 111 meters, it was the tallest building in London from 1710 until 1963. The dome is still one of the tallest in the world. St. Paul's is the second largest church building on the site in the United Kingdom, after Liverpool Cathedral.